Hey there, good buddies. How you doing today? This is the fourth map in the new update. It's called Treetops, and today we're gonna rock it hard. No lives lost. Of course, it's NAPS. Of course, it's no lives lost. So what do we got going on here? Well, the first thing you got to do is start off with a massive amount of dart monkeys. That's really the only viable way you can beat this stupid map. Honestly, it's a very, very tough map to say the least. You got two pathways coming down here. The top one is extremely long, or not extremely long, but it's longer than the bottom one, of course. And also, the bottom one's just so ridiculously hard because there's no good spots to put towers on top of them going underneath that little bridge that you have there. So, just a very, very tough map in general. Overall, I think the best way to do it is honestly, if you start off with a specialty building, just start off with the Dart Monkey specialty building, or get some sort of cannon or ice specialty building. I think those guys are rocks. Those guys are always good to use for some late game action. But early game, definitely good to start off with these Dart Monkeys. You can get a nice little um, well, basically an army of dart monkeys ready to rock all the balloons coming out. Also, if you can get some farms earlier than what I can, hey, awesome. But I wanted to try and make this walkthrough as easy as possible. But let me tell you guys right now that it is not the easiest walkthrough in the entire world. The map just came out 2 days ago, and I'm not perfect. I did the best I could. I tried to use the least amount of road spikes possible. But yeah, I had to use them. I had to use quite a few actually. So just a heads up, if you're having problems with this one, you can maybe wait a little while and find a better guide that I might upload a little bit later, or you can use a specialty building, or just, to be honest, you can go with a really, really easy way to beat this is just screw no lives lost, lose more lives, do a similar strategy to what I do, but go with an early farm instead of the early spike factory, and you're pretty much set. That's all you need to do. But like I said, this is not a live commentary. This is actually a commentary after the fact. So I've already beaten this map. I know I've gotten hard no lives lost. I needed all my mental ability during the game to actually beat this hard no lives lost that I wasn't able to do a live commentary on it. I did try. I tried to do a live commentary, and every single time I'd lose one life, I'd lose two lives. I get so mad and I have to start all over again. So yeah, also this does actually have a save state in it, so just quick heads up, if you got level 45 coming up here, I do recommend you save every once in a while on this map in the first place. Just save every 10 waves, 20 waves, whatever you want, whatever you feel safe doing. But yeah, you gotta do quite a bit. So now I got that spike factory in the very back there. He's in the back left corner. And what you want to do with that spike factory is, I didn't put them in these spots where you could actually have two spots where they're going to be, just the one spot. So I wanted to put him on the top there. Now, my dart monkeys are actually doing a pretty darn decent job of attacking the bottom layer where I don't really need too many more spikes down there. But what you want to do is on level 13 right here, bam, sell that dart monkey up on top there, get another spike factory, and put him on the bottom. Now you got two spike factories down there on each of those lanes on an early round, to say the least. A very early round. Round 13, you got two spike factories already, and those guys are going to rock a lot of the balloons and keep it more no lives lost, or make it easier to get no lives lost instead of doing a lot of road spike action and stuff like that, because I know that's what a lot of people do. Like I said, I want to make it easy for you guys, so if you want to press that little like button down there, because you try to make it, I did my best. Because I did my best trying to make it easy for you. I'd be much, much appreciated. So, oh my goodness. Now you're going to start actually not having too many problems with the balloons up until right around level 20 or so. I mean, right now you got a couple balloons here. Spike Factory's going to rock them. You can start getting your farms up. Now, the only real problem I have is that if you don't get an early farm, like I love getting farms on level 10. I love it. I love getting farms that early. But if you can't get a farm that early, you basically have to say, uh-oh, SpaghettiOs, I'm not going to have a good economy the entire game. Again, just making it easier on yourself in the early game makes it harder in the late game. So you're definitely going to not be able to afford everything you want and actually have some problems popping all of the balloons in the late game. I also do a few different things with my towers throughout the game. For example, my dart monkeys, I actually don't have them all on first. I had the dart monkey that was up on the very top right corner there. I had him on close. I had my dart monkey that's kind of on the top of that little curve on the top there. He is also on strong, not close. Reason why I put them on strong and close and stuff like that is because either they miss a little bit less, they attack the right lane, or the reason why I put them on strong is because they attack the fastest balloons. And if you attack the fastest balloons, you can get more shots on those balloons that pop out of it because they're going to be slower, a little bit faster. Slower, a little bit faster. It's kind of a conundrum, but it works out. Basically, it makes sense. Anyways, your glue gunner is also very, very important to my strategy right here. Glue gunners are always key to most strategies that I have to play. Since there's only two ways that the balloons come out, and they're sort of near each other, the glue gunner is actually pretty effective. The only real problem that I have with the glue gunner is that the targeting is kind of messed up in the game. I don't know if you guys have realized it yet, but the dart monkey, if you put him If you put them in certain spots, like for example, if you put the dart monkey on kind of the right side there, right about where my mouse is, and you put him on last, he'll actually kind of mess up and shoot the like perpendicular to where he wants to aim. And it's just stupid because that means you're getting less popping power out of your dart monkeys. And one of these hard levels, it really does matter. Every single little pop counts. And that was kind of making me angry. Also, my glue gunner was not really attacking the right balloons. He keeps attacking the ones on the top, even though I have him on close. So it seems like, it's a little bit of an issue for me that they're not really targeting the right balloons exactly. I don't know if it's going to be fixed. I don't think so. But it makes it a little bit harder for me. Next thing. Okay, so next thing you want to do is probably get some sort of high-level dart monkey. I mean, level 26, if you got to use some sets of road spikes, go ahead, because there's zebra balloons and a bunch of fast pink balloons here. And also, you want to get ready for level 27, because that's going to be a lot of balloons. Now, if you just rely on glue gunners most of the time, you're going to run out of lives pretty darn fast on level 27. That's a level where there's 500 plus balloons coming out. I think it's 500 plus. Let's see, what's coming out? Come on. Come on. There's going to be... Oh, of course, I clicked on my dart monkey, and now I can't see the RBE. There it is. There's 545 balloons coming out, all yellows, greens, blues, and then reds. And usually the yellows are the biggest problem, but reds and blues can actually be a pretty big problem too if you rely on your spike factories too much. So I'd use quite a bit of road spikes in the back here for this regular popping power, but it's just understood that you need to use road spikes. It's not like, oh no, a red balloon leaked or something like that, because my monkeys are just a little bit different than yours or anything like that. It's like, yeah, just use 3 sets of road spikes on each one of those lanes. Again, if you don't want to get no lives lost, go with a few more farms than me, especially early game, and you can do basically what I'm doing right now, but not have to worry at all about using any sets of road spikes, and it's going to help you out tremendously in the late game. We're already on wave 30, and as you can probably tell, we're only about a fourth through the entire game. So it gets very, very slow once we get to the late game. You got to start planning a little bit more, and you got to start playing a little bit slow and doing a little bit more micro and stuff like that. This level does require micro. So just understanding that, if I put my towers in these locations, does not mean you're going to win. For sure. Just keep that in mind. A lot of people, they yell at me. They're like, this strategy sucks. Chris, you suck at this game. I tried to do exactly what you did, and it didn't work. And then they have a huge fit, and they yell at me and stuff like that. And I'm just like, dude, chill out. What's wrong with you? I don't know. You did something different than what I did, and that's why it didn't work. Or the game got nerfed or buffed or something. Just please don't be mad at me. I made this a while ago. And then guess what happened? Yep, it happens every time. People just yell at me, and then they're like, I'm unsubscribing or I'm disliking. And I'm just like, all right, if you want to, go ahead. But it's kind of annoying, to be honest. So, yeah, I'm just throwing that out there. If you have any problems with it, the game could have been changed a little bit. This might not be 100% perfect, but I'll try and keep you guys updated if you aren't subscribed. If you aren't subscribed, then, hold on one second. Rick. I don't want to talk to Rick right now. Anyways, hopefully you guys can't hear that too much. So I forgot what I was talking about already. Oh, it's so loud. Ugh. I thought it was my girlfriend. I was like, I can answer it if it's my girlfriend, but it's not. It's not Amanda. It's Rick. I'll call him later. I'm not trying to be mean or anything like that. So, holy crapola. What do we got going on right now? I don't really remember what I was talking about. Oh, yeah, people being stupid on my videos. So yeah, just understand that it might not be 100% perfect, and you're going to have a couple snags here and there. The game's not going to run exactly the exact same way every single time. For example, since there's 2 lanes, balloons can come out either on the top or the bottom, especially levels like on Moabs and stuff like that. It's different. It's not the same every single time. So the exact same thing will not happen to you as it happens to me, and just understanding that, the game will be a little bit different. So I'm not trying to be mean to you guys. I'm not saying you're all stupid or anything. But there is some people out there that they kind of irk me when they say silly things like that. So anyways, now you got to start getting popping power. So get your cannon up, get your boomerang up. You got to get at least a 3-0 cannon, at least a 2-3 boomerang. I don't really know if you can go with 2 3-0 cannons or something like that instead of 3-0 cannon and a 2-3 boomerang. But I think this is pretty darn effective, so I would just stick with this for right now. Beyond that, we only have 2 farms. Holy crap, you guys know that I'm usually a farm king. I usually have 4 farms by now, 6 farms by now. I usually have them up to 3-0, or sometimes even I'm trying to save up for that 4-2 farm. But today, 2 2-0 farms, what the heck are you thinking, Chris? How are you going to survive in the late game with that? It's going to be tough, but we can do it. But that's the problems that you run into on these hard maps. You just can't get enough farms, you can't get enough money to survive into those late games pretty easily. Now keep in mind that going hard, No Lives Lost, and NAPS on one of these hard maps, is not supposed to be one of those things that every single person can do. It's supposed to be almost impossible. It's supposed to be very, very hard to do it on hard itself, let alone I know I'm kind of bragging a little bit, but it's tough. I don't know if you guys have ever realized trying to go no lives lost on something, it makes it much, much, much more difficult. In fact, if I wanted to, I could have just made a crappy walkthrough. I could have just said screw lives, got a couple farms here and there, and just kind of gotten down to 20 lives or something like that. And then you guys probably would have said like, Chris, oh, you're a noob, you got 20 lives. So that's why I kind of put hard work into this. It took me all day to make this video, believe it or not. It took me all day. It took me like four and a half hours to actually make this video. Plus, because it's not a live commentary, it took me the full 28 minutes to record the video. Then I have to come back and take the 28 minutes to commentate the video. Plus, on top of that, I'm going to make the quick walkthrough. This is going to be 3 times as fast, which you guys probably saw the annotation in the front there. If it exists, if it doesn't exist, it won't be there yet. But as you can tell, we're doing pretty darn good so far. And we went with the Arctic Wind, so like this is one of those weird things that you're probably not too used to, except on the hard maps. As going with an Arctic Wind kind of early like this, you got a lot of balloon popping power with the Arctic Wind, 3-0 cannon, and 2-3 boomer. But that's what you need to do on these hard levels. Those ceramics are so hard to pop, and also one problem that I have been having on this map is just getting those ceramics glued is a huge issue for me. You really need to get those two 2-0 glue gunners to be in the perfect spots to glue all the ceramics, or you need to change it up a little bit and get a different glue gunner more towards the bottom, which I'm going to do a little bit later. You guys will watch it. Like I said, if the glue gunners were doing what they were supposed to be doing, I'd be just fine, but they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're aiming in the wrong direction, and they're hitting the wrong balloons. I don't want them to hit those balloons, so you kind of have to change it up a little bit. Anyways, you're noticing that I'm starting to get ready for the harder levels here, level 43, and also the Moabs. The Moabs are going to come out pretty darn fast here, guys. So I got some stuff pretty reasonably glued, and I got an Arctic Wind here. So, I mean, you're pretty much set when you got an Arctic Wind, a cannon, and you have them glued already. If they're not glued, you can still run into some problems here. But as you can tell, look at those zebra balloons. They're just running right through my defense. My glue gunner's not attacking them when he should be attacking them. Sometimes he is, sometimes he's not. And that's the thing. If he's sometimes not doing it, that causes problems for me. If most of the time he does it, hey, that's good, but I want it to be every single time. So anyways, we're getting really darn close here. And by the way, guys, I did have the save state right after level 45 here. So the Moab came down on the bottom, and I was like, uh-oh, that really didn't work out for me very well. So I switched it up, and I kind of changed my strategy around just for that one level there. And I was like, okay, got to restart, got to use a couple more sets of road spikes or whatnot, and make sure this actually works for me. So that's why I was saying keep those save states ready. Keep them all at hand. As you can tell, look at those little orange arrow things there. That's what happens when you get a save state coming out. So I actually went with the Moab Assassin. At first I tried a Super Monkey. It didn't work out. So I went with the Moab Assassin here. It was an insta-kill on the Moab, and then I can use the rest of my things here to easily destroy the Moab over here. Also, I was like, hey, why don't we get a little bit more economy going back here? We got the Moab Assassin. This is not going to be the most difficult level in the entire world. 47 is usually not that bad, as long as you have, again, Arctic Wind, cannon, and some sort of glue. If you glue those ceramics, you're going to be just fine. So we're doing pretty darn good so far. I really can't complain too much, except for my economy. My economy is kind of sad right now. It's very, very low, to say the least. So what we're going to do next is have to worry about level 49. I mean, we still have to get Moab popping power. We still don't have enough popping power for level 49. Arctic Winds are good, but when he's not in a perfect spot, he's not in a perfect spot because he has to go in between 2 lanes there. So that's why it's kind of hard for us to do that. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go with some sort of Ring of Fire. Ring of Fire's, they've been nerfed, they've been buffed, they've been nerfed back, and now they're just kind of weird. What do we do with Ring of Fires? Do we use them or don't we use them? We can use them. We can use them pretty darn effectively. So I definitely recommend getting Ring of Fires in games. Look how fast he shoots. That's the cool thing. He only pops 1 layer per shot, but and he doesn't have like the most extreme amount of pops per shot. But still, he shoots so fast that it does add up really darn fast. So we got the Ring of Fire there, and then I was like, alright, since we can survive that, I'm going to try and survive level 50 as well with another banana farm. I wanted to get my economy up. I was a little bit greedy here. If you guys are having problems, I would recommend not going with that banana farm. Just stick with what you got, and use a couple sets of road spikes on the Moab if you need to, or just build those Moab Maulers up. But what you want to do is you want to start getting Moab Maulers pretty darn soon. Now, I did realize after the fact that there's better spots to put Moab Maulers. There's actually better spots to put Moab Maulers. It's more towards the front and actually leaving them on last. Kind of interesting, kind of weird, but leave your Moab Maulers more towards the front, leave them on last. And the reason for that is that the way the balloons come out is that if you leave your Moab Maulers on last, you can actually have them hit both sides instead of just one side. So you get the double of the popping power out of every single Moab Mauler if there's multiple Moabs coming out. If there's only one Moab coming out, it really doesn't matter too much. But once you get to those late games, it's definitely very, very nice to have those Moab Maulers in the back there. So just do it a little bit different than what I did. Maybe put your Moab Maulers a little bit closer to the back, mid-game, right around 60 or so. You want it once you start getting like 8 Moab Maulers, 9 Moab Maulers, right around there. You want to start getting more Moab Maulers instead of those glue gunners up in the front there. Because we do have a reasonable amount of popping power at the moment. I mean, look how much popping power we got. We already got a Ring of Fire, and we might actually go with another Ring of Fire pretty soon. I know I got it up there. I don't know exactly where I put it. I think I swapped out my boomerang for the Ring of Fire, and I don't know what level I did that on. Maybe level 63? I don't know. I just remembered one level. I'm like, I need more popping power, so I decided to get rid of my boomerang and go with the Ring of Fire instead. They're about the same price, but your Ring of Fire is definitely more popping power than the boomerang, which is kind of odd. We don't usually think about it that way. We usually think about, oh my god, the Ring of Fire is kind of bad, and the boomerang, oh my goodness, amazing. But since the boomerang keeps getting nerfed and the Ring of Fire keeps getting buffed, hey, why not? Let's deal with it. Let's use it up. But as you can tell, I'm using most of my Moab Maulers up in the front there. I don't know if you want to go with a Monkey Village first and then get all those Moab Maulers, but I think the way it worked for me is I barely had enough money for those Moab Maulers and barely had enough Moab popping power, so I wouldn't stress your chances too much. I would just kind of take it as it goes. And look at that, I actually did have to use a couple sets of road spikes on that Moab. Make sure the Moab does not get past your Arctic Wind. That is the key. Do not let the Moabs get past your Arctic Wind. If you do, automatic loss. And that's why I'm saying, again, just make sure you save every once in a while, and if you don't have good micro, it'll allow you to just come back right here and play the game again. But if you are having, if you're pretty darn good with your micro, just use a couple sets of road spikes on top of the Moabs, not once the balloons already come out. Because if you wait until it passes the spot where all of your stuff gets popped, hey, guess what? You got to use 5,000 sets of road spikes instead of just 2 sets of road spikes. Obviously, much, much better. But our popping power is, again, pretty darn good, but we're still running out of Moab popping power. So we're going to keep getting those Moab Maulers. We're going to spam them like crazy. I don't know how many I want to get. I'm thinking probably about 15 or so by the end. And there it is. There's that Ring of Fire that I was telling you guys about. Get it up to a 4-0 and then a 4-2 as well. Why not? It's like $300 to get those stupid little upgrades, and they help out a little bit. So I definitely would recommend getting any sort of range upgrades for a Ring of Fire for sure. Also, the Ring of Fire does have a pretty big range as well. And there we go. I'm finally getting up my my Monkey Village there. I finally was like, oh, okay, it's about time. I got enough stuff. And plus, by the time you get to this point, you actually get jungle jumps and stuff like that. And you get a 15% bonus increase on attack speed on all of your Moab Maulers. If you just think about that, 15%, how many 15% do you need to get another Moab Mauler? Well, if you do it by 8, you get 120%, I think. I think that's what it is. So, if you do that 120%, that means you have 1.2 extra Moab Maulers. So if you have 8 Moab Maulers, getting that upgrade right there is already efficient. 7 is actually efficient enough, but 8 is definitely worth it. So I think getting that is right around the time you have 8 Moab Maulers or so is the time you want to get jungle drums, or 8 towers for that matter. 8 towers, except for super monkeys and stuff like that. You don't want to get the jungle jumps right around the super monkeys. They really don't help too much. I don't think. I don't know. Don't quote me on that, but I've heard and I've seen and I've tested it out. I've experimented a little bit, and it doesn't seem like it really helps too much. So I'm just like, whatevs, dog, whatevs. I'll just chill with what I got. So here we go. We got another BFB here, and this is the point where you're like, holy crap, I'm glad I got that Moab Assassin on level 46, because without that Moab Assassin, I probably would not have been able to pop the BFB so easily. Pop the BFB really easily, then pop the Moabs that come out really nice and easy with all my Moab Maulers that I got massed over there. Now, I did notice one weird thing about this game, or about this level, rather, is that if you use the Moab Assassin too early, or if you use anything that has like an insta-kill like that too early, the balloons that come out will actually split up into 2 different lanes instead of just 1 lane. For example, if you pop the BFB, if you send out level 60, and you press the Moab Assassin right away, as soon as level 60 starts, it'll actually, the two Moabs will come out on the top, 2 Moabs will come out on the bottom, or maybe 3 and 1 or something like that. So it actually means that there's some sort of path outside of the level that is combined. At least that's how I thought of it. So there's really, I don't know, I thought that was kind of interesting and cool. So what I did was I always waited to use my Moab Assassin until about a second, or until I've actually seen the BFB come out of one of the lanes. But as it's also happened where I've did with a Moab, and Ceramics came out 2 different ways, which I definitely think it's better to have them all come out one way, because all of your stuff is going to be attacking the same exact one. Now, level 63, now we're getting to these tougher levels as well. You know, everybody knows that 60 is a tough level, 62 is a tough level, 63 is a tough level, 64 is a tough level, and 65 is probably the easiest out of all of them, surprisingly, but it can be tough as well if you don't know how to deal with it. So what do you got to do? Well, you got to get a glue gunner, I think. I think you got to get a strong glue gunner, kind of a weird glue gunner. You know, why do we get a 2-3 glue gunner so late in the game here? I don't know. I like 2-3 glue gunners because it glues every single balloon, or it should glue just about every single balloon. So that's why I got him up, and that's why I thought he was going to pop most of the ceramics, or at least glue all the ceramics, allow my other towers to pop the rest. And it looks like it did work out pretty good for me, but it did not glue every single balloon, and that means I had to use a couple sets of road spikes in the back there. Not a huge problem, but just, pay attention a little bit. If you got to restart on this level, go right ahead. Level 64, surprisingly, not that big of a problem for me. I think I had enough Moab Maulers, but it was kind of tight. I mean, if any of those Moabs got through, I would have been dead. Just plain dead. I have not enough Moab popping power in the back there. I mean, I do have a bunch of Moab Maulers up there, and I think putting those guys on last was actually the most efficient thing that I could have done instead of strong. Put them on last, like I was saying, guys. You might have forgot about that. I know it sounds weird to put Moab Maulers on last, even though it can sometimes be sort of effective to put them on last, and it kind of just makes sense a little bit. Most of the time, we always just put them on strong because it just makes sense. Moabs, strongest balloon. Moab Maulers, attack strongest balloon. Bam, fantastic, yeah, we did it. But no, we would not. So we're going to build another banana farm. Oh my goodness, we got another banana farm. He is up to, we already are, up to level 66 here, and we got 2 of those banana farms. I think that should be enough economy for the late game. Now, we're on 67, so we got about 10 rounds to pay for our banana farm. By the time we're on 77, we're going to be making bank, and then we can start selling our banana farms and make even more bank off of those little guys over there as well. Overall, not having too many problems so far. I mean, these are the easy levels. This is the time where I usually think about just having kind of an easy time throughout. I think level 66 is easy. Up to level 70 is usually pretty easy unless you don't have enough camo detection. And then usually the next hardest level is actually level 73. And then I kind of pick out the hard levels in between those. 73 is tough, 76 is tough, 78 is tough, and then 81 to 85 can all be difficult depending on your defense. But usually I don't have too many problems on certain levels. For example, 83, I'm pretty solid on that. 75 is really easy. 74 is really easy. 77 can be a little bit tough as well. But usually if you can beat 73, you can usually beat 77 as well. So I know I'm just kind of spamming all these little rounds and stuff like that. But I've memorized every single round, and I know exactly what comes out. Or at least I know roughly what comes out. Oh yeah, 4 BFBs come out on round 77, kind of jam-packed with each other, along with a couple Moabs as well. I might seem like a really, really big nerd, and that's because I am a really, really big nerd. I really like this game. I really enjoy this game, and I love playing for you guys. Since you guys like my commentary, it just made me like this game to a whole new level because I can actually explain to you guys why it's so fun to me, and hopefully kind of give you guys the level of fun that I have while playing the game. At least that's what I hope. That's what I hope. So, anyways, oh man, my sister just being lame. I don't know what she's talking about. So, what's next on the agenda? I'm not really sure what we're going to do next, because we have a bunch of Moab Maulers. We don't really have that much space. That's another issue with this level. It's just the space problem. What the heck are we going to do? We used all the Moab Mauler space. We could spam more stuff more towards the front there. And we could put a couple things more towards the little loop top in the middle kind of thing. I hope you guys know what I'm talking about over there. Because it's not a live commentary. I can't point to it with my mouse or anything like that. That's the only real problem with not having a live commentary. But anyways, Roboplasma. I know it's kind of late for a Roboplasma. Usually I like to get those guys earlier. In fact, I don't think I've ever gotten a Roboplasma this late in most of my games where I just go with the first Roboplasma. I usually just stick with Moab Maulers, or I stick with my other popping power. Kind of weird to do this way, but now we're getting to these tough levels. Level 76 is definitely one of those tough levels where it's kind of hard to pop all these balloons. And we actually just barely beat them. We barely beat level 76. So thinking level 78 is going to be pretty darn difficult as well. We're going to have to get a bunch of camo popping power now. And that's why I'm going to go with something a little bit different. We're going to have to get a lot of camo popping power. And I'm actually probably going to sell my farms here, because you're going to have to get some more cannons up. You're going to have to get either a Spectre, which will rock the balloons really, really, really easily. Get the Spectre up. Or you're going to have to go with some sort of extreme amounts of cannons or mortars or something along those lines. I mean, the Glaive Lord can be used kind of effectively too, but not really on this map. So, yes, level 77 didn't seem that bad, but it can be pretty bad. And it's also kind of one of those long levels that just kind of drawn out. A bunch of silly little Moabs come on at the beginning, a bunch of silly little Moabs come on at the end. Not a big problem, it's just that big BFB bunch in the middle there that is the huge issue. And here's level 78. So even just looking at that, I was like, oh my goodness, just these regular ceramics were getting super freaking far. How are we going to possibly pop camo ceramics? So I'm like, okay, we got to do something about this, guys. So I got another 4-2 cannon down in the bottom there, and I was like, okay, sell the farms, get another 4-2 cannon. So now I have 3 4-2 cannons. Well, I have almost 3 4-2 cannons. I will have 3 4-2 cannons in just a second here. And, I mean, if I wanted to, if I was really, really, really afraid, I'd sell a Moab Mauler and just get another 4-2 cannon, or sell something else to get another 4-2 cannon. But I was like, oh yeah, look at that, we actually beat the camo rush. I was like, oh, I thought this was going to be really, really hard, and then all of a sudden I got super mega surprised by another camo rush, or what I thought was a camo rush actually wasn't the camo rush. That's why I sped it up. I was like, oh, it's over already. I beat this level. And then there it is. There's the huge camo rush that always defeats me, and always is the biggest problem that I have in this entire BTD5 thing. I always have so many problems on level 78. But we did it! We did it! Yes, I should put on my little crown and say I am the king of the world. I'm the BTD5 king today. But anyways, again, some tough levels around here, but I think since we have such a solid defense with our 4-2 cannons, we have a bunch of Moab Maulers, we're pretty much set here, guys. We probably won't have too many problems until maybe level 85. If you have too many Moab Maulers, you don't have enough Moab Assassins, you can actually have a problem on level 85. But I'm just going to get one Moab Assassin or something like that, just to be safe. Just to be safe here. Especially on those want rounds where there's or those levels where there's 2 places where the balloons can come out. It kind of separates the way that you attack, and normally BFBs and stuff like that aren't that big of a problem, but oh my gods can be on these certain levels. I also just realized that if you look at my entire defense right here, like 90% of it is cannons. That just shows that cannons are probably a little bit overpowered in this game. I don't know, maybe that's just my opinion. Maybe I just really, really like cannons, but I think cannons are just so efficient. Moab Maulers, good for Moabs. 4-2 cannons, good for balloons. Why the heck not? Why would you do anything different than those guys? It just makes sense. So we're down here, we got another about a minute left with the video, and hopefully you guys are enjoying so far. If you did, please, again, throw a little like down there. If you want to share with your friends or whatnot, go ahead. I always appreciate when people do that and are trying to get me more subscribers and stuff. My channel has been growing pretty darn well lately, and I've just been so freaking happy that you guys have been enjoying me talking while doing the things that I love, which is playing games. Of course, who could ask for anything better than playing games and having fun and having people like watching what you do and doing what you do? It's just like, it's kind of like having your dream job, I guess. Anyways, I think... Oh, man, what's going on here? Amanda might have just gotten here. Okay, Amanda just got here. So we have 1 minute left. That's basically perfect timing. We will get the Moab Maulers up for level 84 here. And then, I mean, this level is not going to be strong. Also, if you notice, I put my Moab Maulers on last here, because I just realized the amazingness of having your Moab Maulers on last. That's why I was telling you guys around level 60 or so, something about around there. I was like, oh yeah, put them on last, because it's better. But I didn't know at level 60, so I wasn't actually doing it at level 60. But you have to keep in mind, this is more for mid to late game than on level 53 and level 54, when Moabs are so spaced out and stuff. This is more for the giant grouped Moabs and stuff like that. So here we are on the final level, these oh my god, what do you got to do? Use a Moab Assassin really quick, and you're pretty much game over. That's all I got for you guys. As always, thank you so much for watching. And I already said all that silly little stuff that I had to say before. So you guys can have a great day and hopefully beat this for yourselves. Yay!